Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Storytime. I'm Miss Sharon, and this week is Fire Safety Week. So Storytime today is going to be all about fire safety. We're going to start with a song. It's called "It's Time to Hear a Story." It's time to hear a story, a story, a story. It's time to hear a story. I'll read it to you. So sit on the carpet, get ready to listen. It's time to hear a story. I'll read it to you. And our first story is Spark the Firefighter. It's written by Stephen Krensky and illustrated by Amanda Haley and read with the permission of Dutton Children's Books. The town of Hardscrabble had an opening in their volunteer fire department. So they posted a sign and handed out notices, but nobody answered the call. And then one applicant finally showed up. It was a dragon. His name is Spark, he said. The chief was not sure this was a good idea. He had never heard of a dragon that wanted to fight fires. Then I'll be the first, said Spark. What Spark didn't say was that he was actually afraid of fire. Other dragons couldn't wait to blow flames. Not Spark. Fire was so bright, so hot, it had always made him nervous. Without fire, Spark hadn't been able to guard treasure or frighten off unfriendly knights. The other dragons had made fun of him. To be a proper dragon, Spark needed to get over this fear. And for that, he figured he had come to the right place. We might as well give you a try, the other firefighters whispered. Nobody else wants the job. The chief agreed. All right, Spark, he said. Let's see what you're made of. First, Spark had to do push-ups and sit-ups. Then he crawled through tunnels and carried equipment up and down stairs. It was important to make sure he was in good shape. Spark learned how to carry ladders and control a water hose. He studied books on helping people who were injured or burned. The firefighters also gave demonstrations at school. Smoke rises, the chief explained. Crawl under it to get out. And if your clothing catches on fire, what are you supposed to do? Stop, drop, and roll. And never play with fire. Spark's first real test came on a smoky stove. Never put out a grease fire with water, said the chief. Use chemicals to smother it. Spark didn't get too close, but he finished the job in the end. The second fire took him into the woods. The trees crackled like fireworks. The flames danced wildly off the trunks and branches. Spark backed off a little at first. I can do this, he told himself over and over. And he did. As the weeks passed, other emergencies came up. An electrical fire at the Hardscrabble Inn had Spark clearing out the rooms. Some people wanted to pack their bags first, but a growl from Spark hurried them along. Firefighters use their brains as well as their muscles, the chief liked to say. And believe it or not, sometimes you have to fight fire with fire. Spark wasn't sure what this meant, but when a mill fire threatened to go out of control, he used his brain a lot. He diverted some of the river water just in time. Good work, said the chief. Way to go, Spark, said the other firefighters. And then, one day, the alarm went off again. The whole crew arrived to find a big barn burning. Horses and cows were trapped inside. It's too dangerous for us to go in, said the chief, even in our protective suits. Spark hesitated. He knew it wasn't too dangerous for a dragon. Spark thought about the poor animals with no way to get out. I have to do something, he said. With a mighty roar, Spark rushed into the barn. The flames licked at his feet, but he didn't care. The horses and cows were huddled in the middle. He could see they were even more afraid than he was. Then Spark took a deep breath. He shot out a burst of dragon flame and blew out one of the walls. "Follow me," Spark shouted, and led the animals to safety. Spark could hardly believe it. This must be what the chief meant about fighting fire with fire. From that day on, Spark used his courage and everything he had learned about fire safety to do his job better than ever. But now that his fear was gone, he was eager to try other things. The other firefighters were sorry to see him go. "Good luck, Spark," they said. "Thanks for all your help." Back home, Spark is pretty busy these days. There's treasure to protect and princesses to impress. And he keeps a close watch for knights looking for a fight. But he still returns to hard scrabble sometimes to help out with the new recruits. The end. That'd be cool to have a firefighter dragon. Now we're going to welcome Mr. Dan from the East Peoria Fire Department, and he's going to talk to you guys about fire safety.
Hi guys, I'm Dan. I'm from the East Peoria Fire Department. Miss Sharon asked me to come in today and talk to you guys a little bit about fire safety. And then the next thing, after we talk about it a little bit, I brought all my clothes here so you guys can see me in all my gear with all my stuff on. Because sometimes when you see us, we look kind of scary or frightening. And we want to show you guys what we look like so that you can see us without all our gear on and then with all of our gear on, so you know that there's nothing to be afraid of, that we're just regular people inside all that stuff that makes noise. And we look big and bulky and kind of scary, but really it's just like a big fire or a snowsuit that you guys wear in the wintertime to keep yourselves warm. We wear all of our fire stuff to keep us safe when things are bad, okay? So the first thing I want to talk about really is just fire safety in general, right? So if we ever have a situation where we have a fire, especially at our house, the first thing we need to do is we need to get away from it, right? So we need to talk to our parents or the person that we live with and decide, if there's a fire in our house, where do I need to go? Usually we want to find a spot outside away from the house that's safe, but we need to talk about where that place is, okay? So if we have a fire, we know exactly where to go at that point, that we can sit and wait, okay? So after we get to that safe place and we know that everybody that was inside the house is out, the next thing we need to make sure that we can do is talk to somebody that they've talked to 911 or called 911 so that the fire department and the police department can come and help us so that we can fix the problem, right? So we've gotten out of the house, we've gotten to our safe spot that we've talked about, and we've got 911 coming, okay? So the next thing I want to do is I'm just going to put on all my gear. It's kind of off to the side, so I may kind of step out of the camera for a minute, but it's just me getting dressed. I'm going to try and get dressed in front of the camera so that you can see me put each piece on. That way you understand what it looks like as I get dressed, and I kind of change the way I look and sound and everything like that, okay? All right, guys, so as I get dressed, you kind of see the first couple pieces that I'm putting on here. I've got this kind of goofy hood over my head so that it kind of protects well, I don't have any hair, but I bet most of you have hair. It can protect the top of my head, my hair, my neck, my ears, the sides of my face, and over my mouth. The next piece I put on is my pants. That's just to protect my legs. I got these big, heavy boots on, and I got to pull the straps up over. So it's kind of just like our snowsuit, right? We got our snow pants on, our boots. We're ready for our coat and everything. So the next piece, as you can see, is my coat. It's a big old heavy coat. I got a flashlight to help me see when it's dark and everything like that. You zip it up. We got these pieces that fold over. And voila, right? So I just look like a fireman wearing a coat and my pants just like our snowsuits, right? So the next piece I got to put on is my air pack. The air pack that I wear, helps me breathe when it's real smoky and dark and the air's just not very good. I got to put this thing over my face. It's going to make my face or my voice sound kind of strange, okay? I don't want you guys to be afraid. It's just to help protect me so that I can help you guys, all right? All right, guys, I'll kind of turn sideways so you can see that big thing on my back. That big tank on my back is just full of air to help me breathe once I put my mask on. All right, so you can kind of see how my mask fits over and how I start to sound kind of strange because I'm talking through this little bitty hole in front. Once this mask's on, I start to kind of muffle my voice, so my voice doesn't seem quite as loud and it doesn't project quite as well, okay? But that's just the first thing that you have to understand is the change in my voice, right? I'm still just Dan, I'm inside of a suit, and there's nothing to be afraid of because I'm here to help you, okay? So the next thing I'm going to do is pull this hood up over my head. And the same thing as before, I just look a little bit strange, but it covers everything so you can't see any of my skin inside here. That's what protects it from the heat. All right? So the last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to turn my air pack on. It kind of rattles a little bit. It makes some beeps and stuff like that. That's just to tell me and let me know that my air pack's okay and it's working just fine, okay? So you heard kind of that rattle, and then it was followed by a few beeps. That's just the pack letting me know that everything's fine, and then it's going to work okay for me. So I'm going to put this little round thing. It's going to go right over my mouth, and my voice is going to get quieter again. And then you're going to hear like a funny noise of like air kind of getting blown in and out. That's just me breathing, okay? So I want you guys to understand that I'm still Dan. I'm just in this big suit, and there's nothing to be afraid of, okay? So you guys can hear that air kind of moving in and out and whatever, and then you hear my air pack every once in a while makes a funny noise. It's just the air pack telling me I need to move, okay? So when we hear this, we hear that air kind of coming in and out, and I can take a deep breath in. That's just the sound of me breathing. It's absolutely nothing to be afraid of. It's completely normal. So the last piece is my helmet, right? You always see a fireman, he always has his helmet on, right? So once we put our helmet on, I'm going to put my gloves on, and then you'll be able to see the last little piece because I'll be all covered up and I'll look kind of like what you may see in a movie or a book or something like that. So this is me. I'm still in here. I'm still Dan. I just have all this stuff on. All this stuff is made, like I said before, just to help protect me so that I can come get you. And the last thing I want you to do is be afraid of me when I come in, okay? So me or my other firefighter friends or something like that, if you see us like this, it's okay. We want you to come to us because we're trying to help you, okay? So that's really the most important things that I wanted to talk to you guys today about, all right? I want you to see me in all my gear so that you understand not to be afraid. And I want you guys to develop a plan with your parents or whoever you live with on deciding where you want to go if there is a fire, a safe place to be, and make sure that 911 is called. Okay, guys? All right, thank you very much. Miss Sharon, I think, is going to come back and talk to you guys a little bit more. Excuse me. I hope you guys have a great day and enjoy the rest of your story time, all right? Thanks, guys.
Well, thank you, Firefighter Dan. That was really nice. And now you all know if you see a firefighter, not to be afraid because they're there to help you. And thank you, Firefighter Dan. So the last thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you, this is our craft for this week. It is a firefighter. You're going to get one of these little kits. And in your kit, you're going to get a toilet paper roll that's going to be your firefighter, a template that you're going to have to cut out the pieces and put it on. The fire department has given us all an activity book, so you have an activity book and just some more a newsletter about some fire safety tips. You can come to the library and pick those up either in the children's department or at the drive-through window. And just remember to be safe. And I just want to point out that I know if you've been in the library, you've seen this. This is our firehouse, and this was brought to us by the East Peoria Fire Department. So thanks for stopping by. Thanks for listening. And just remember to be safe. Thank you. Bye-bye.